What's going on, everybody? It's Rev. Welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to another Monster Hunter Wilds guide. In today's video, we're going to be covering probably the most popular weapon in the game, called the Longsword. The Longsword is a very nuanced weapon. There are many different things that this weapon can do. All of them are very powerful. And as such, it has... Honestly, I feel like this weapon has great skill expression, relatively high skill ceiling, but is also still very, very easy to pick up for a new player. I think the most important place to start would be to talk about the spirit gauge, which is the longsword's main mechanic. When you land a hit on a monster, you'll build a little bit of gauge, which is located underneath the sharpness gauge. The spirit gauge has two meters that are attached to it. You have the inner gauge, and then once you level it up using your spirit blade combo or the various other ways, you'll go ahead and get this outer glow on the blade, which can be indicated by a white, yellow, and red gauge. It's worth noting that if you're doing nothing at all and not building the gauge, the spirit gauge will just slowly diminish over time. There are two basic attacks that you can utilize in a loopable fashion. The triangle or left click combo is fully loopable, deals a little bit of damage, and the circle or right click combo is also fully loopable and deals less damage than the former. But in general, these basic attacks are not great. They're kind of just party starters, if anything, to our more potent combo, which is the spirit blade, by pressing R2 or R on the keyboard. The basic attacks build meter, and the spirit blade spends it. Once you reach the end of the spirit blade combo, you'll do a round slash, and landing the round slash successfully will level up the gauge. That's the only hit you need to land. You don't need to land the full combo. So the spirit blade combo is going to be sort of your bread and butter, but there's some pretty cool nuanced things that you can do with it. You can press forward and R2 or R on the keyboard, and that will activate Spirit Blade 1 with some forward momentum. You can also do it neutrally, and we'll just do kind of like a round slash. Still Spirit Blade 1, still going to deal the same damage, but Spirit Blade 1 and Spirit Blade 2 can be repositioned in order to gain a more advantageous position or to avoid attacks, however you want to use it. This is only doable from Spirit Blade 1 and Spirit Blade 2. Spirit Blade 3 will always be the same, and then Spirit Blade 4, if you can afford it, will be Spirit Round Slash to level up the gauge. New to Monster Hunter Wilds, if you throw out a Spirit Blade 1 and hold the button, you will be able to do a Spirit Blade charge. At the cost of stamina, you will gain some spirit meter, and based on how long you are charging it, you'll go directly into the Round Slash. So if we hold it for a little bit, you can see we went to Spirit Blade 2, Spirit Blade 3, Spirit Blade Round Slash. Hold it a little bit longer, Spirit Blade 3, into Round Slash. Before we get started on how to deal some really big damage and how to build your meter really fast, let's go ahead and talk about a very, very important move called Fade Slash. Fade Slash is done by using the triangle and circle buttons, or left and right click at the same time. This is a great repositioning tool, and if you use it in a combo, such as the circle into lateral fade, you can go ahead and move left or right. I found that in the beta, using the overhead version of this kind of redirects you in a weird way, but hopefully they fix this. However, if you want to do a lateral, go ahead and use the circle combo. With the use of Fade Slash, we can string together some really efficient combos in order to level up our gauge as quickly as possible. If we do a normal basic attack into Fade Slash into a Spirit Blade, we'll perform a skip that allows us to reserve some meter and still allow us to skip ahead into the Spirit Blade combo into the Round Slash. This is a very good way to just generally level up. while keeping the combo lean so we can get there even quicker. The really cool thing about this combo is that it always generates enough spirit meter in order to do a full spirit round slash combo. So you don't have to worry about generating any more so long as you land those 2 hits. Once we do this a few times, we'll go ahead and reach red meter, which is going to enhance our combos. Not just the basic attack combos, but also some portions of our Spirit Blade combo. You'll notice that when I use basic attacks and even Fade Slash, the Spirit Gauge does not go up. This is now, it's crunch time. We need to land our heaviest hitting moves as soon as possible, which is the Spirit Thrust, and after it, the Spirit Release Slash. Big damage, but you'll notice that the Spirit Gauge is all the way back down to level 1. So let's go ahead and level up here again. Level 2. Go ahead and do another skip here. Now we're in crunch time. Now that we're in red, we'll go ahead and have access to our Crimson Blade combos, I believe they're called. Crimson Slash combos, my bad. And these are fully loopable. They do way more damage. They still sort of have the same properties as what they're useful for, and that they're just kind of there for filler in case you're waiting for a monster to attack you. But we also gain 1 more attack. In the Spirit Blade combo, after the round slash, we gain the Spinning Crimson Slash, which is another slash that it has a very large gap in between the slashes, allowing you to reposition yourself pretty effectively. Now, we can't talk about Red Gauge without talking about the Spirit Thrust, which is the big spender. Spirit Thrust goes into Spirit Helmbreaker, which goes into Spirit Release Slash. In order to perform a Spirit Thrust, you need to press R2 and triangle at the same time, or R and left click at the same time. This will propel you into the air for the Spirit Helmbreaker, and if you have the meter, which I don't, you will be able to use the Spirit Release Slash. In order to do the Spirit Release Slash, you need to be in Red Gauge. You'll notice that I am now at level 0 when I was at level 1. If you do a Spirit Thrust for some reason at level 0, which you don't want to do at all, you won't get propelled into the air. You will not use the Helm Splitter. So it costs 1 gauge to Helm Splitter as well. All this information, and I feel like I'm just scratching the surface of this weapon. There are also other ways in order to level up the Spirit Gauge even more efficiently. The Longsword, like I said, is a very nuanced weapon, but that also means that it's got a lot of tools in its kit, such as the Foresight Slash and the iconic Special Sheath. So the Foresight Slash is a counter that has iframes, as well as the ability to go into a round slash so long as you have a little bit of inner gauge. It doesn't cost any certain amount. It will just get rid of all of your Spirit Gauge. So you get 1 shot at this sort of counter. And if you counter successfully, let's go ahead and let our fearsome monster hit us here. Iframes, Spirit Round Slash. By following up with R or R2 upon the successful ding noise. So go ahead and do this again really quick. Ding. Round slash, and we're already in red. Foresight Slash is omnidirectional. You can use this counter to get some really absurd angles, so long as you are attacking. The return slash is omnidirectional, and it gets even crazier with focus mode. But so long as you are tilting it in the proper direction, you can go anywhere with this counter. Basically, the Foresight Slash can be used at any point in recovery frames, which means that after any attack, so long as you're already done swinging, you'll be able to use your Foresight Slash. In Red Gauge, you can kind of just use this whenever you want, since we're just on a timer. You have unlimited Spirit Gauge. You're just looking to really spend it on Spirit Helmbreaker. But a cool thing about the Foresight Slash in Wilds, you can use this counter relatively quickly out of your Spirit Blade combo. The recovery frames are seemingly a lot sooner than they are in some other games. Most notably, this is usable in Spirit Blade 2 while you're mid-attack. This is kind of the exception to the rule, but also Spirit Blade 3 is probably the time that you'll probably get caught the most getting hit. So this is really good information to know in order to get some decent damage in, and what would otherwise kill you in other games is now able to be countered in this game. So to recap, the Foresight Slash is a very low risk counter, but it requires you to have some spirit gauge. If you successfully counter, you can follow up with the Spirit Round Slash. Makes leveling up quite quick, but we don't stop there. We also have something called Special Sheath, which is a cancel, a counter, and very good damage all in one. Because of the inputs that are required to do the Special Sheath, you're not really able to do them raw. However, it needs to be done out of any sort of combo, and you can do the EI Slash or the EI Spirit Slash, which is like a very highly committal counter move. Both of these moves have some pretty unique properties, but to do the EI stance or the Special Sheath, you'll need to press R2 and the dodge button, as well as that would be R and spacebar at the same time by default on mouse and keyboard. I want to take a moment for my PC brethren here. I play on mouse and keyboard, and I played Longsword a little bit in World, and I always found it very difficult to press the dodging and Spirit Slash buttons at the same time. But if I do a combo and then press R, I'll get a Spirit Blade. But if I press it and then press spacebar almost immediately after I press, it will get me the Spirit Slash. It's kind of difficult to press them both at the same time and get it consistently without randomly dodging or randomly Spirit Slashing. So I find that it's more consistent when you press R and then spacebar immediately afterwards. From Special Sheath, we have the EI Slash, which propels you forward, and so long as one hit from the double slash hits, you'll notice that the spirit gauge is passively regenerating spirit. I feel like this move has seen better days in previous iterations of Monster Hunter, just because there's so many different ways to generate spirit meter now in this game. However, it is still great for beginners to have this safety net, because so long as you are generating passive spirit, you'll be able to keep your foresights going. So if you're practicing a monster, this is a great safety net that will allow you to kind of perfect your foresight slashes. Sorry, there's a lot of names and I'm having trouble remembering them all. We also have the EI Spirit Slash from Special Sheath. By pressing R2 or R, you'll be able to counter, so long as you time it perfectly. You'll be able to counter a move, level up the spirit gauge, and follow up with whatever you want to level up twice in rapid succession if you choose to do the round slash. But you can also do it into Spirit Thrust, Spirit Release Slash, and it's a very powerful tool. But the ways to level up the spirit gauge do not stop there. By holding L2 or mouse 3, you'll be able to enter focus mode, which will allow you to use your focus strike, which is R1 or shift on the keyboard. Using Unbound Thrust to pop some wounds will level up the gauge by 1. However, if you hit multiple wounds, you'll level up by 2 or 3. However many you pop is how many levels you're going to gain. You can see I went from white to red in one go by popping the front and left wounds. It's going to take a little bit of experimenting and getting used to all these things all at once. This weapon has a lot of information coming at you all at once in the form of counters, what combos you should be doing, what button inputs, how much resources you have. It gets to be a lot. But once you master it, it turns into be a lot of fun. And even then, it's just really fun to master Spirit Blade combo and do some counters here and there as a beginner. But I think that's pretty much going to do it for everything that I know about the Longsword. If you know anything cool that you want to impart on aspiring Longsword users, be sure to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I've been really trying to crank out these weapon guides as best as I can. Hopefully you're learning a lot and you're enjoying them as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. More is on the way, and I will see you next time. Peace out.